Hey guys, William here with Patriot Containers. I made a video the other day about, I think on Sunday, about why I'm exposing the cargo container industry. And for some reason, that one video got a lot of traffic in 2 days. I don't know why. Just all of a sudden, people started watching that. I got a lot of comments on it, a lot of good comments. But there was one comment, I want to read it to you on that video. It says, the reality is containers make good structures for storage, but not homes. And I thought about that, and this isn't an opinion answer. This video is not ragging on all the other companies. I kind of want to have fun and smile in this video and not be so serious. But yeah, it's I've been selling containers for 13 years, and when you sell these things and you talk about them all day long, and somebody asks, what do you do for a living? And you go, well, I sell cargo containers off ships, and you got to describe with what kind of container. It gets old. It really does. Now, there's times where I'll be driving with my wife in the car and she'll go, oh, look at that container. And I'm like, oh God, I don't even care. You know what I mean? And it's just, and then I have a neighbor down the street that comes into my backyard, and he's one of those know-it-all neighbors that you got to do this, you got to do this, and you got to do this. And he's telling me that I need to put all these containers in my backyard. So because I sell containers, people can come over to my house and see my products. I'm like, I'm not putting I'm not going to load up my backyard that's like nice grass and concrete and beautiful stuff. I'm not going to put a container back there for sales reasons. I don't want to look at one. Now, my opinion doesn't have to match your opinion. It's, you know, I just wouldn't, me personally, from selling these things all the time, I don't want to look at one every single day. And so this comment made me laugh because it says, the reality is containers make good storage structures, but not homes. And I started laughing because I read that. And when I see people make homes, what you see is it's like the social media effect. You're only seeing with what's pretty. And so you'll see this like $4 million container home up in the ridge lines of a mountain overhanging, and it looks so beautiful. Yeah, I would live in that. But it would take millions of dollars to stack them up. There's got to be architects involved. There's got to be so much work involved in that. But would I make a home out of containers? Me personally, no. I'm so sorry. If you do want to, that's completely up to you. It's kind of like people telling me with what they're going to put inside their container. I just don't care what you put inside of it. I only care about the product that I'm selling you. Whatever you do with it is your business. But yeah, would I live in a cargo container? No, I wouldn't. I sell these things for a living, and I talk about them all day long. And now I'm talking about them in the videos, which I just to let you know about these videos, I just got done telling my wife this because I asked her, I go, hey, do you mind that I'm on YouTube and making these videos all the time? And I do watch my own videos because this is something that it was like a phobia that I've had my whole life. I'm 47 years old now. I can't believe it. In 3 years, I'll be 50. To be honest, I act like a 25-year-old, but on the inside of my body, I'm like 80. I act like an old man sometimes. But I asked her, I said, do you mind me making these videos? But I have some type of satisfaction and release of talking to this camera and being genuine with it, and it's giving me something. It's not a selfish reason. It's just something that I've never done before in my life, and I'm practicing at it. And not to toot my own horn, but I'm not a techie guy. I can't put a green screen behind me and make all this stuff. And I see a lot of container videos where they're on a green screen, and it's more of a sales pitch versus good information that's the truth. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be like the other companies. I want to be significantly different, and that's why you buy from me. I want people to put trust into Patriot Containers. But back on topic. Yeah, would I ever live in a cargo container? Hell no. I'm so sorry. If you want to buy one to make a house, I don't mind. Like, that's completely up to you. But I sell these things for a living. In a way, I'm a very tired salesperson. If you call me, I want to have a friendly conversation with you, and it doesn't have to be, all this personal information unless you want it to be. But every time I pick up the phone, I actually want to have a good-hearted conversation with somebody. There is people in this world that call that they're miserable assholes, and I just don't want to help them. And it's just kind of like, well, I want to help you, but you don't want help. I don't know what to do for you. But yeah, it's whatever you do with your container. If you want to build a house out of it, use it for storage. You know what's funny is I'm one of those guys that when I find a good restaurant, I keep going to that restaurant. So the servers know me, the owners know me, and they finally go, "What do you do for a living?" And I go, "Well, I sell cargo containers." And what's the craziest thing that people say? Oh, people build houses out of those things. Do you know how many I probably sold 15,000 containers in 11 years. I bet you 10 people have built a house out of them. Most people buy containers is they have just too much shit and they want it out of their garage or they want it out of their business and they want to put stuff that for storage, and that's it. And just like that comment said, containers make really good storage structures. Totally true. Do I agree that they don't make good homes? No, because people can make good homes out of these things. They use them as a frame, and there's some people that have so much money that they can take these containers and build a big, beautiful mansion out of it. But I could not do that without hiring architects and finding the right piece of land. I always picture like people when they have a container home, they buy two and put them side by side and they have a basic square house. I like houses to have certain shapes, and my house looks different than my neighbors, and my front door and the interior is all different. I've been in some neighborhoods where every house is exactly the same. I have OCD, total OCD. I see things that I do not want to see. My OCD, however, does help me run a good business, and I'm very, very thorough, and I rarely make mistakes. I do make a mistake every once in a while, and I'm so mad at myself. But yeah, I have OCD, and I'm very organized, very thorough. I want everything to work perfectly. I don't believe in buying junk. And that's another reason that brings up another topic here. If you buy a cheap container based off of price, you're going to have problems. And I learned this from buying gun stuff. When I first got a gun, I would go to the gun show, and they have people, vendors and everything, trying to sell you stuff. Well, you can buy cheap Chinese junk for a gun. It's not going to last. You're going to have to spend more money later replacing it. So technically, you've wasted money on that crappy product. Now, instead of buying the one you should have, you buy this one, and it fails. And then so you're constantly losing money to buy the better product you should have bought in the beginning. I consider that in cars, everything. If you buy the right product, it saves you money in the long run. That's why I sell these things in a specific way of, let's get you into the right container that you're happy with at the right price, to where you're happy with the price, you're happy with the product, and it was delivered on the right day. if you as a customer do not consider that, you're going to get ripped off by one of these companies that sells junk, and you're going to invest thousands of dollars into a problem that you ain't going to be happy when it gets there, and you find out all the bad things that you were all the good things you were told were actually bad things. You're going to find yourself in a mess. And I don't sell messes. I sell good products. I just show up on the right day. But back to the video again. Would I live in a container? No, I'm so sorry. More power to you if you can. But yeah, I sell these things every single day. I've been talking about containers for 13 years. Now I'm doing it on YouTube. Yeah, it's just one of those things. My wife always goes, "Oh, look at that container." I'm driving and going, I don't care. But it doesn't mean I don't love my business. It doesn't mean I don't love my service. It just means I'm a tired salesperson that's been doing this too long. And if you're watching my videos and you call me, I do want to have a happy conversation with you. I don't want arguments. I don't want to be combative. I want to tell you the truth, and I hope you want to hear the truth. If you don't want to hear the truth, there's 90% of companies that want to sell to you and tell you every lie in the book to take your money. But yeah, would I be able to build, me personally, would I build a container home? No, I'm so sorry. I like regular houses, and I like, anyways, I just don't want a square container house. And, I guess if I had $4 million to find a hillside and have it overhanging and glass windows all the way around it, yes, I would live in that. But I ain't going to live in, a container home that actually looks like a container. That's me personally. But I have high standards. It's kind of why I sell better containers instead of cheaper junk. I just have high standards. And I want, how do I say this? When somebody calls me and goes, "Hey, I don't care about my container," I'm scared for that person, and I'm scared that there's nothing I can do to help them. Now, when somebody calls me and goes, "Hey, I do care about the way this thing looks. I want a good container." Good. We're off to a great start. I actually, how do I say this? A lot of people think, like, picky customers are picky for a reason. It's a good thing if you give them with what they want. It's a bad thing if you sell them junk. So when somebody calls me and goes, "Hey, look, I am really picky and I need this and this and this and this," I embrace that because that's what I want to give the person. It's the other person that goes, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care about how it looks." You will, and it's probably not going to be buying a container from me. So, anyways, that's it, guys. I just wanted to make a video about container homes. Me personally, I wouldn't live in one. That doesn't mean that's just my opinion. Who cares what my opinion is? But I do sell containers. I do care about how I run my business. I do care about my customers. In that video I made about exposing the cargo container industry and why I'm doing it, I forgot out one major word or two. I don't want to be like Joe Biden and say, "Oh, it's a 5-letter word or a 5-letter sentence," and then it's 3 words. But the real reason I'm exposing the cargo container industry, it's because I care. I really care. I care about customers that are being lied to and getting ripped off. And when I read the complaints of what these companies are doing to you guys, it pisses me off because these companies are making a ton of money screwing over people and it's just not cool to do that to people. You should offer a real service and not take advantage of people and not screw people over and not steal their money, not charge them money for something that they've never done. That's a shitty business. That's what they do to you guys. But anyways, trying to keep happy on this. Would I buy a container home? No, sorry. I'll sell you a container. you can make a home out of it. I don't care. But I do want to sell you a look, a condition, a function, and I'm not overpriced, and I want it to show up on the right day. That's it, guys. Have a great one. Tuesday the 26th. Goodbye.